Welcome everyone to this very special webinar. My name is Terry Malmed, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce this esteemed group of healthcare professionals, ranging from naturopathy to chiropractic to physical therapy and to medical doctors. But before I introduce them to you and bring them on live, I'd like to give you a little background on this amazing Nobel Prize winning technology that the doctors will be sharing with you. It's called redox signaling molecules. The discovery of the first redox signaling molecule won a Nobel Prize in 1998, and since then, the race has been on to commercialize these molecules outside of the human body. Until ASEA's group of researchers figured it out, it had been deemed impossible. The molecules would turn back to salt water within minutes. You see, your body makes its own supply of these molecules. A healthy child before puberty has a full supply of them. But as we age and what we're exposed to every single day from pollutants, chemicals, poor food choices, the sun, medications, the list goes on and on. Our bodies lose the ability to keep and make a healthy supply of these molecules. By the age of 50, our supply of redox signaling molecules has dwindled, which is why our bodies tend to heal slower. We have more aches and pains, and our disease risk factors skyrocket. But the good news is it doesn't have to be so. What if we could show you how to replenish your supply of redox signaling molecules in a consumable drink and a topical gel that is 100% safe with zero toxicity? Well, we can, and we now have the answer to what so many have been searching for, a way to slow down the aging process and allow our bodies to do what they were designed to do and heal themselves with the power of redox signaling molecules. So let's get started, and let me introduce you to the doctors who will help you to understand what these molecules are and how they can benefit you and your loved ones. These doctors all have extreme and impressive bios, but for the sake of time, I'm going to give you just a briefing of their bios. So first, we have Dr. Maureen Hayes, MD. She's a medical doctor for more than 25 years and received her medical degree at the Medical University of South Carolina. She is double board certified by the American Board of Anesthesiology in both general anesthesiology, that's a big word, and pain management. She is also credentialed in age management medicine and certified in acupuncture. Dr. Maureen most recently served as an assistant professor in the Department of Anesthesiology at the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston, Texas. She has served as chief of the Department of Anesthesiology at Marlborough Hospital in Marlborough, Mass., and as a staff anesthesiologist at 2 hospitals in the Harvard University Health System. She is a highly sought-after speaker and lecturer. Dr. Maureen sits on ASEA's Medical Professionals Board. Second, we have Dr. John Hayes, no relation to Dr. Maureen Hayes, who I just introduced. Dr. John is an award-winning honors graduate of Lincoln University, PA. He was the winner of the coveted John P. Emick Award, which honored the chief resident with the best bedside manner. He is board certified in obstetrics and gynecology and spent 22 years as an OB/GYN doctor where he delivered many thousands of babies. He also had a 10-year career as a doctor treating male patients with sexual dysfunction. Dr. John is currently working in the area of pain management. Next, we have Dr. Pilar Labriola. Dr. Pilar Labriola is a chiropractor. She graduated from Life University in 2001. She's board certified in multiple chiropractic techniques and specializes in chiropractic biophysics. She and her husband have a private practice together since 2008 and have created a system of health for their patients, which not only includes proper posture and alignment of the spine, but fully integrates cellular detoxification programs to assist their patients in ridding their bodies of the residual effects of cellular toxins. Dr. Pilar is sought after by many large corporations to instruct their employees on postural health, stress reduction, ergonomics, and the importance of cellular detoxification. Next, we have Dr. Malmed. Dr. Foster Malmed is a chiropractor and received his bachelor's degree from Syracuse University in 1979 and his doctorate from Palmer College of Chiropractic in 1983. He was New Jersey's all-around gymnastics state champion. Dr. Malmed has been a doctor of chiropractic and a certified applied kinesiologist for over 33 years. He was the director of education for a national orthotics lab, And in 2010 to 2015, Dr. Malmed achieved one of his dreams and became the sole chiropractor in Putnam Hospital Center in Carmel, New York, where he used ASEA's products for 5 years. He now practices in a wellness and rehabilitation center in Brewster, New York. Dr. Malmed also sits on ASEA's Medical Professionals Board. Now we have Dr. Moorman. Dr. Deborah Moorman is a naturopathic doctor and master herbalist. She obtained her degree at Trinity College in Warsaw, Indiana. In early 1992, she founded the Genesis Herb Garden, which is a family-owned and operated business in Concord, North Carolina. To date, she has worked with over 20,000 clients. Having overcome cancer herself, her mission is to educate people about the benefits of natural medicine. In addition to utilizing ASEA, iridology, urinalysis, dried blood microscopy, face, tongue, and nail diagnosis, she also utilizes the latest computerized diagnostics scanning programs. And last but not least, we have Sean Burke. With nearly 3 decades in physical therapy and sports medicine, Sean is CEO and founder of With Performance Center and is a strength conditioning and performance specialist for high school athletics. He holds 3 degrees, applied science, development, and physical therapy assisting, and is a certified personal trainer in fitness, nutrition, aquatic therapy, and rehab. He has over 21 years in the sports medicine physical therapy field, over 10 years as a firefighter and EMT, and a personal trainer for 16 years. As an avid athlete, Sean has ranked 4th in the nation on the All-Army wrestling team and holds multiple age group triathlon records. Sean also sits on ASEA's Medical Professionals Board. So let's get started and bring these 6 amazing healthcare professionals on live. I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Malmed to get things rolling. Welcome, doctors.
Okay, thank you so much, Terry Malmed, and I am so honored, and it is joyous to be on with this amazing group of esteemed doctors and professionals. So I get to talk first about what this stuff is. So it's pretty amazing. So this is all based on Nobel Prize winning technology. Redox signaling molecules are made in the mitochondria during the Krebs cycle, and up until 1998, we thought that they were useless byproducts of the energy-making system in our cells. And in 98, 3 doctors from Italy won a Nobel Prize for discovering the importance of the first redox signaling molecule. And it took from 1998 until the ASEA company was able to stabilize a large set of redox signaling molecules in a bottle so that it could be commercializable. It was a major breakthrough. The last 5-6 years, all of the medicine and chemistry Nobel Prizes were awarded around cellular structure and function. And just this past year, the study of autophagy, the way that a cell uses its parts as it devours them when they're no longer useful, and then distributes them back out as building blocks for cell parts. That's called autophagy, and autophagy is totally run by redox signaling molecules. We're a little farther upstream, and this is truly Nobel Prize winning technology. You probably all remember the Watson-Crick double helix structure of DNA. Dr. Watson won that Nobel Prize in the 50s, and now he solely studies redox signaling molecules, and he says it's the most important work that he's worked on to date, more important than the helical structure of DNA. That's a pretty large statement. It's important to know that this product can't hurt anyone. This is bioactive, bioidentical. It's exactly what your mitochondria produce in the cell. So there is no fear of any sort of side effect or reaction. Your body makes these molecules to keep you young and healthy, and that's exactly what these products do. Our testing has shown that dozens of metabolites in the blood are improved within 24 hours. These molecules are working on your system in a beautiful way within minutes of ingestion. Doesn't matter the age, doesn't matter the condition, the medication, the supplements, nothing matters. You cannot make this product have a side effect or reaction. So it works 100% of the time, and it hurts 0% of the time. It is a joy to be involved with this company. And besides being a dad and a parent, it's my greatest honor to be on the medical board for this company. So I would like to next speak to Dr. Pilar Labriola. Dr. Pilar, I know that you are a detox specialist, and could you please talk to us about why it is ASEA is so important in your practice for detox and how that works?
Okay, so the first thing about the biggest thing about ASEA is it helps your body produce its own glutathione endogenously. Now, glutathione is a big buzzword out there, and doctors like Dr. Mark Hyman, they call it the mother of all antioxidants. And the reason is because it pretty much does everything. It's found in every cell of your body, and it actually coordinates the activity of the other antioxidants in your cells as well. So let's say it's coordinating vitamin C, vitamin E, CoQ10, very important, doctors, you'll agree with me, and other antioxidants. It also removes cellular toxins in the body, and that therefore increases cell efficiency, right? So because your cells are working better, you have a better sense of well-being, and you're just in general working better. So it's glutathione in general is also known for its ability to boost your immune system. And so this ability, along with its effectiveness, as an antioxidant, it helps shield you against the adverse physical and mental effects of aging. So that's the most important thing. So when you add ASEA to your life, one of the biggest things it does is it boosts that. Now, here's the thing. People hear about glutathione, and we're recognizing that people at an alarming rate are actually becoming deficient in it. And that can be because of premature aging, infections, chronic stress. A lot of us are under a lot of stress, environmental toxins, foods, even vigorous exercise. And so what's happening now, because this is a buzzword, people are often tempted to rush out and buy glutathione supplement right away. And the problem with that is there's a lot of studies about that supplement, and they've indicated that it's poorly absorbed by the body. And even if it is absorbed, what happens is if you're adding synthetic glutathione to your body will no longer need to synthesize its own. And so it actually has an adverse reaction. So a lot of those supplement takers, they'll take this and then it ends up they're dependent on it. So there's no better way to boost glutathione in the body than letting the cells do it. And there's research shows certain foods will boost that, like avocados, things like that. But ASEA, one of the biggest things about ASEA is it boosts the body's own production of glutathione. I mean, these guys, you want glutathione, everyone. It's your little police officers that help your body function. It helps regulate things even when you don't know that there's things that need to be regulated. And the reason it's so important, Dr. Foster, in my office is because, when we're taking people from above down, inside out, and helping their body to heal and helping them just live their lives the best way they want, adding this product to their lives, it just changes it, because I tell my patients, this product is watching you when we can't. This product is watching you when you don't realize of the toxins that you're taking in on your body. And we've been utilizing it since 2012. Our patients love it. What I love about it is you don't have to think about it. You drink it twice a day, and it just does so many things for you. And if you're going to be on this earth, let's live a life. Let's live a healthy life. Let's not let our bodies get in the way. And that's pretty much my explanation of that, if that's okay.
That's pretty amazing. So a beautiful explanation. And so in your practice, have you seen it work clinically with patients' immune systems and their detox?
Yes, what's so great about ASEA is you don't know what it's going to work on first. And it's not like you're going to pinpoint it's only going to help you with this. So we have people who have been on certain medications in their lives to regulate, certain bioactivities in their bodies, and they don't have to take them anymore. Or we've seen people that poor energy. I mean, that is something I think. I'm in the Northeast, and we're go. I'm in the northern Jersey area. We actually get a lot of people that come in and commute in from Manhattan. And so what happens is these people are just around smog and pollution, and they're just exhausted, and they're trying to get home and trying to have some kind of family life, and they're just worn out. And I have seen that part of it changed. I call it the veil. So as soon as someone starts drinking ASEA, within about 3 or 4 days, I almost see this shadow lifted, and their like life energy is back where it belongs. And you see a lot of smiles, Doc. That you see a lot of smiles, and that's the most important thing.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pilar. That was a beautiful explanation. And as we know, sometimes in this business, and we're all in this business, we get paid in hugs and laughter and tears, and that's the best part. Thank you so much, Dr. Pilar. Beautiful explanation. So, Dr. John Hayes, the winner of the Bedside Manner of the Year Award, probably for the planet, if you get to know him. Please unmute yourself, sir, and let us know. One of the most important things that ASEA does is it improves cellular messaging. These are, in fact, redox signalers. And if you could talk about how it is that interacts with cells and what it is that it accomplishes, sir.
Well, I think the cell, as you so eloquently put it a minute ago, the cell is one of the most amazing things in our bodies. And the signaling molecules just influence the inter and intracellular communication, so that if the cells are operating efficiently, the body can take care of itself pretty much. And that's what the body wants to do. I was, as an aside, I was in an apothecary yesterday watching people pay all this money for these expensive supplements. And I thought, well, that's great. But if the proper signaling is not going on between cells, you're not utilizing that very well. So those supplements may put you here, but if you have the signaling going on, you're way up there. So this whole thing about signaling is something that we cannot disregard. The whole thing about cells is that they want to protect, they want to detect problems, they want to repair the problems if possible. And if the damage is too far gone, there's a programmable cell death called apoptosis, and then the healthy cells can signal the void, and then a new cell takes the place of that. So the last thing we want going on in our body is damaged cells replicating. So this whole signaling is just amazing. And all the damage going on is like the fire being out of the fireplace in the living room, so to speak. So this redox signaling helps to get the fire back in the fireplace where it belongs. Foster, you're muted. I can't hear you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks for keeping me on point. Great explanation. These are signalers, and now we know why. Thank you, John. So, Sean Burke, his biography is way too long for us to put on here. Very, very accomplished. A pleasure and honor to be on the medical board with you, sir. And if you could talk about, from an athlete's perspective, so VO2 max, what is it that it does? What is it that ASEA does for it? And can the gel help athletes also?
Well, with athletes, what we find out is that what ASEA or redoxing of molecules is doing is actually sparing the muscle glycogen. So what we're doing is the athletes are actually have more free fatty acids available. And what we talk about that as far as fuel sources go, look at the 3 different fuel sources that an athlete uses. Carbohydrates, if we're using that strictly as a source, you only get about a half hour to an hour of burn of fuel. If you use glycogen, which is your carbohydrates and sugar combined, you're getting about 2 to 4 hours of competition or fuel into your body. But now if you use free fatty acids into an athlete, you could burn up to 60 to 80 hours of burning a day, for a time. So that's pretty significant. So we look at that, if we're increasing our free fatty acids and sparing the muscle glycogen, we're actually reducing the lactic acid buildup in athletes and increasing the endurance and a faster recovery. And also there's 4 components of it that make an athlete. There's mindset, nutrition, recovery, and movement. Those 4 components of an athlete, that make an athlete, as a pillar of an athlete, is crucial, and that the redoxing of molecules has a significant component in each of those. We talk about mindset, proper training, where you go to the competition and you have a proper mindset, you've done your proper training, and you go with the confidence and that you're able to do a hard workout time after time after time. You build up that strong mindset, you're gonna have a great competition. And then with nutrition, as Dr. Hayes was talking about, with the communication of cells, athletes are constantly breaking their cells down at a much higher rate because we're putting our body through hours and hours of training. And so with that cell communication, detecting, repairing, and replacing cells that are damaged, that's a big component of athletes because that's what helps us, that recovery time after time, putting those great workouts back to back. And then with the recovery, when your body is able to recover time after time after time, and your body is able to heal at a much higher rate, you get proper sleep and you get proper recovery, then that's another great component for athletes. And then, of course, the movement part of it is that when an athlete can move, where you have cells that communicate at a much higher communication, and an athlete is able to move at a much higher rate and recover and increase their speed, increase their endurance, increase their output, then you put all those components together, which again is talk about the 4 pillars, which is mindset, recovery, and movement. That's what makes an athlete an athlete.
Awesome. And if you could just talk just for a minute about the gel. Do you use the gel with your athletes, and what do you see when they use the gel?
Okay, so that's a great question. So with the gel, what we're seeing is increase in blood flow by 50% within the first, up to 9 or even higher than that after 96 minutes of having the gel applied. What athletes find out is that soreness that we find in our legs, like we go out for a long jog or a long bike ride, and we come back and we're stiff and we're sore. By utilizing the gel and increasing the blood flow in that area, we're flushing that lactic acid out. Lactic acid is like a block to an athlete to recovery. If we can clear that lactic acid out at a much higher rate and flush that system out, then you have decrease in cell damage, you have decrease in muscle fibers that are being damaged on a regular basis. So I personally use it.
Okay, so Sean froze a little bit, and we missed the one most important word, which was 50% improvement in circulation within 15 minutes. That's an amazing, amazing statistic. Thanks so much, Sean. I hope your cell service comes right back. We're going to turn now over to Deborah Mormon. It says James. She is definitely not James. She's Deborah Mormon. Could you please share with us about how it is that the ASEA redox supplement activates antioxidants and what it does when it activates those antioxidants, please, Deborah?
Okay. Well, to begin with, I've been in alternative healthcare business now for 25 years, so I'm familiar with antioxidants. We kind of all jumped on that bandwagon back in the 90s, but only recently we realized that they don't really work unless you have redox signaling molecules. So in fact, we can't even neutralize one free radical without those redox signaling molecules. But my story kind of became very clear to me 2.5 years ago because I was helping a friend, a fellow naturopath that had a very serious health concern. She had been battling something very serious for 2 years. In fact, she even went to Hippocrates twice. She actually had colonic. She did IVs with vitamin C. She did glutathione injections, raw food diet. She did it all. Nothing was helping. So eventually she went to a local university hospital. Did all the tests, everything, days she spent there. But when the doctor came back in, they told her to get her affairs in order and essentially go home to die. So at this point, we're devastated. I was new to ASEA. I was really skeptical. Hadn't even tried the product yet. But out of desperation, I took the ASEA to her, told her to start with the 8 ounces twice a day. And believe it or not, on the 3rd day, she called me and remarked, "This is a miracle." She says, "I can keep my food down now. My energy's coming back. I can feel that I'm going in a positive direction." Well, to make a long story short, after 6 weeks, she went back to the same hospital, same doctor, same test. The doctor came back into the room with tears in her eyes, saying she's never seen anything like this in her career. She gave her an absolutely clean bill of health, told her she could go back to work, resume her life. Now, why did she get better now but not before when she worked so hard with so many antioxidants for 2 years? The reason is ASEA activated her antioxidants and restored her cellular communication. Even though she was doing all the right things, if you don't have the redox signaling molecules, nothing's going to work right. So that was really my aha moment, and it was her miracle. So ASEA really does two really important things. Number one, it activates your internal antioxidants as well as those you consume, and it's restoring your cell-to-cell communication. So when I say it activates your antioxidants, those are compounds that are basically native to your body, like glutathione, which is your master detoxifier that Tyler talked about, superoxide dismutase, and catalase. Well, these are extremely essential compounds that really assist your liver and your kidneys in helping to eliminate all those unwanted chemicals, prescription meds, environmental toxins, etc. And unfortunately today, with our age, we're declining in our production of redox signaling molecules, because you've probably heard it said we're exposed to more chemicals, more poisons, and now they're talking about glyphosates and Roundup. We're exposed to more in 15 minutes than our great-great-grandparents were exposed to in their entire lifetime. But another cool thing about ASEA that I like, and it might put me out of business actually, but the longer you take ASEA, the less and less of some of these nutritional supplements you're going to need. Why is that? It's because your cells are now working so much more efficiently. So basically, to recap, ASEA is activating your native antioxidants, the glutathione, etc., as well as any of those you're consuming in your diet or supplements that you take. So it's also restoring your cell-to-cell communication. So I think we're extremely blessed that we have the ability to replenish our redox signaling molecules with ASEA, and it being the only stabilized redox supplement in the world.
Thank you so much, Deborah. It was beautifully said. Love the story about your friend. When I did this in a hospital for 5 years, that's what grabbed my interest when I had a similar problem with a very close patient of mine. We cried on each other, and then we cried again. He's still here over 6 years later, and they didn't expect him to be around for 6 weeks. So thank you so much. And it's so true. The longer you use the product, the less of other things you will find that you need. And one of our favorite lines is long-term use of ASEA does cure one thing, that's skepticism. So thank you so much, Deborah. Really appreciate it. Dr. Maureen Hayes, also an honor to be on the medical board with you. If you could please address how ASEA's newest study shows that we decrease oxidative stress. What is oxidative stress, and how can decreasing it help humans, please, doctor?
My pleasure. Well, oxidative stress is another one of those buzzwords we're hearing more and more about. And when we talk about oxidative stress, really what we're talking about is inflammation in the body. And it's become quite apparent that most diseases start from inflammation. And that inflammation happens to be because our bodies are out of balance. When we talk about oxidative stress, oxidation is a process that takes place in the body. Everybody else has alluded to the different steps that take place, from the cells replenishing and replacing themselves, muscle being torn down and rebuilt with the athletes, like Sean Burke was talking about, the signaling that's going on. Oxidation happens. This is a natural process, and we have antioxidants in our body that have to neutralize that. However, when the system goes out of balance, that's when you get stress. And if you think about the word disease, you have ease in the body, and then you have disease. And so stress is a form of disease in the body. And so that imbalance takes place because of everything that's going on in our world today. Like Dr. Mormon was talking about, the toxins that we're exposed to, the foods that we're eating, the lifestyle that most of us are having that's so much more sedentary. So we're not exercising as much as we used to. All of this leads to a chronic imbalance. And we don't have the signaling in place that we need to in order to take care of that. We have less redox signaling molecules as we age. And so when you put those back into balance, you will find that those processes that are happening naturally will stop causing an imbalance that's leading to this oxidative stress that leads to the inflammation. The study that was done was 3 years ago, and this was done by Dr. David Neiman of the Human Performance Lab at Appalachian State. And he was actually looking at other things. But one of the things that they found is that 2 markers for oxidative stress in the body actually decreased after 12 weeks of using the ASEA product. These were 8-hydroxydeoxyguanosine, which is a marker for DNA damage. And the other one was oxidized LDL. Now, both of these things, if you extrapolate that or you read between the lines, we're talking about LDL, which everybody knows is a bad cholesterol. Well, it's the oxidized form of it that actually causes all the problems and leads to heart disease. And then, of course, any kind of damage to your DNA is going to lead to problems as your cells are turning over. You're going to be causing damaged cells to replicate, and that can cause some life-threatening illnesses as well. So the fact that ASEA has been shown to decrease these markers is a huge finding. And the fact that we can take ASEA, which is a balance between a balanced solution of redox molecules, it puts that balance back into our cells, because we have to have oxidation, we have to have reduction in order for things to take place, like fighting viruses or bacteria or whatnot. These are normal things, but we need to put them back into balance. So that's what's happening with the ASEA.
Beautifully done. Thank you so much, Dr. Maureen. And while I have you here, I know that the product, the people on this webinar need to know that it's made from salt and water, just like your mitochondria uses to make these molecules. Can you just talk about how much salt there is in a daily dose, please?
My pleasure. As an anesthesiologist, whenever I hang an IV, it's got salt in it. Salt is necessary for the body to work. And like you said, our mitochondria use salt water to make these redox molecules. And so that's what our product is made from. It's made from salt and water. And for people who have a sodium sensitivity, they're usually concerned about that. But there's only 125 milligrams in a daily serving. And if you look at things in your cupboards, the reason why salt and taking salt has become such a problem is the processed food that we eat is loaded with sodium. The daily requirement for a low sodium diet is about 1,500 milligrams. Normal diet would be about 2,300 milligrams. So this is 125 milligrams in a total day's serving. That's minuscule. If you take a tablespoon of peanut butter, you're going to get more sodium in that than you are from a daily serving of.
Okay, thanks so much for clearing that up. Really, really appreciate it. And while we're on the Hayeses, could we go back to Dr. John Hayes for a moment? And sir, if you could just talk to us about how it is that you were able to prove to yourself that ASEA was safe for everyone and why it was that you decided to share it with all of your patients. And if you could unmute, please. I'm returning the favor.
Thank you, Foster. Yeah, when we first heard about this, I'm sure I was like just about everybody else. It sounded too good to be true. But all the way back from being a resident at the University of Pennsylvania, I have been open to at least investigating non-traditional approaches. And I think that there are some great things out there that are not traditional. I do not think traditional medicine has all the answers. For acute issues, definitely. But chronic things, I don't think traditional medicine has all the answers. So we were going to try the product irregardless. So as we got on the product, then I started to do due diligence, went to the National Library of Medicine and put redox signaling molecules in a search bar, and I was astonished at how much came up. I had no idea that this was even there because, as somebody said early on the call, in medical school, we were taught there was no use for these products. And so there was a completely brand new science that I really didn't know anything about. And as the months and now years have gone by, just learning more and more every day, every month about this, I think is absolutely fascinating. There can be no toxicity with this. It's exactly like what's made in our cells. It's safe for any and everybody, including babies. In this country, we're so litigious that we have to put on everything, consult your doctor before taking this if you're pregnant or whatever. So I think that this would be perfectly safe for a pregnant woman, for babies, zero toxicity. So I can't say that about any prescription I hand out today. That's for sure.
Thank you so much, Dr. John. And you heard it here. A physician said, yes, it is safe for you. You have nothing to worry about. Thank you so much, Dr. John. And Dr. Maureen, if I could come back to you for just a moment. You probably have more experience than Dr. John Hayes or Sean or I with skin care, I'm just guessing. Could you talk about the gel for a minute and talk about what it does for the skin and why?
Oh, my pleasure. This has actually become my favorite product, the gel. This was, the liquid had been out for about 2 years when they decided they had been working for some time on making a gel matrix so that it could be used topically. And so this is made from 2 additional ingredients. It just has a silicate in it to form the gel and also something to balance the pH so that it'll be more in line with the pH of the skin. But it works amazingly well. It works very much like the liquid does, only we don't ingest it. So initially when we just had the liquid, we were spraying it on our skin. If we cut ourselves, burned ourselves, anything like that, we were using it because it enhances the healing property of the skin. When this product first came out, of course, they were looking at it for cosmetic effects. So we were talking about wrinkle depth, firmness of the skin, smoothness of the skin, and all of that was improved by 20% or more. However, as more people were using it and using it for different things, we found that it seemed to alleviate a lot of discomfort, especially if used a couple of times. So if somebody has shoulder pain, hip pain, muscle pain, we tell them to apply it and then reapply it every 5 minutes for up to 2 or 3 times. It's amazing. We keep it in our kitchen because if we're cooking and we burn ourselves, it works very quickly to take away the pain and also keeps you from blistering. So it's really, I love this one because seeing is believing. The liquid you may have to be on for a while, sometimes up to 3 months to get a really definitive change from it. But the skincare works very, very fast.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maureen. Beautiful explanation. Really appreciate it. And your skin tells the story. Thank you so much. And Sean, welcome back, sir. Glad that you could join us. Thanks so much. If you could just tell us again about the athletes, a little bit more about what it is that exactly that you're seeing objectively with your athletes in the gym. That's amazing stuff to hear about.
So what I'm hearing, or what I'm actually seeing with my athletes is athletes are recovering faster. They're able to do workouts back to back at a much higher rate. An athlete gets stronger by having quality workouts back to back to back. In other words, if I go out and work out on Monday and then I have to rest 2 days and then work out on Wednesday, my process of becoming a faster athlete or a stronger athlete is decline. What this is doing, what I'm seeing with my athletes is time after time, they're coming in on Monday and putting a hard workout in. They're coming in Tuesday, putting a hard workout in, Wednesday and Thursday and etc. And that's what I'm seeing is that compound effect of having a workout back to back to back, high quality, high producing production is making athletes at a much higher level of competition. And for example, I just had a lady who's 72 years old who came to our clinic and was 30 pounds overweight, couldn't even do a half-hour workout. And 71 years old at that time, she came to me and said, I want to do an Ironman. And I was kind of like floored. I said, you want to do a what? And she says, I want to do an Ironman competition. And I said, you can't even, well, I didn't say that, but I said, and she told me, I can't even do a half-hour workout. I said, great. Well, let's get started. Got her on the product. She had been on the product for 6 months, lost her 30 pounds, went to Boulder, Colorado, qualified for the World Championships, and then went over to Kona, Hawaii. And this is only after being on the product for 6 months. And in her 7th month up on the product, raced at the World Championships at Kona, Hawaii, and is currently ranked number 2 in the world. And just recently, last week, she just went down and did her 4th Ironman down in Mexico at 71 years old. And she won her age category. They didn't even have a medal or a trophy for her because they said someone that age is not going to finish this race. She finished the race, won her age group, qualified for the World Championships, and she'll be racing in Kona, Hawaii in October of next year for that. And this is someone who a year ago, well, we're probably looking at 16 months ago, 30 pounds overweight, couldn't do a half-hour workout, and has now done 2 World Championships. That's pretty amazing.
It's really amazing. A testament to our products and probably some to their coaching, Sean. Amazing work. Great job.
Yeah, thanks.
So Dr. Pilar Labriola,
I'm here.
I was going to ask you a different question, but I think you answered it before. You were so thorough. So
I guess I might.
telling us, what do you think of ASEA and Renew 28 as a business in the office of a healthcare practitioner?
It just happens automatically, to be honest with you. It's not even that it needs a lot of thought. It's the power that made the body is the power that heals the body. And what I love about these products is they're containing redox signaling molecules. That's the power that heals the body. And so it's very easy conversation when you say, look, we're not altering any chemistry, we're not changing anything, and this is 100% safe for you. So here you go. And really, I find that if someone has made the attempt to, come into my office, whether to do a chiropractic corrective care program or a detox program, they've already made that step and that responsibility they're taking on their own. And so when you're adding this to it, and look at this is your way of life, not only will this change your way of life, but your families, I find that it's hard to keep it on the shelf. I tell a story when I had first, Dr. Foster, you were integral in explaining this science to me, and I went on a leap of faith, and I trusted you, and next thing you know, I had a bunch of this product in my office, and this was even before, Dr. Hayes was speaking, Dr. Maureen Hayes was speaking about Renew 28, it's even before that came out, and I was looking around at some of my patient base, and I said, oh my goodness, there's some people here that we're just not reaching, they're not being helped. And one by one, those people that we actually handpicked them in the beginning started making changes. Well, then they were getting their family members on it. They were coming in my office and they were, shouting to the world, and they were so happy about it that other patients of mine were walking out with the product. So, for me to answer that question, it's really a no-brainer. It's easy for the patients to get their hands on. They can have it, they can buy it from the healthcare practitioner, they can have it delivered to their home. They may want to make a business of it on their own, and that's what happened with us. I was just looking to enhance my patients' lives, and I had people coming in that looked at this as an opportunity and were like, you know what, I'm going to go and I'm going to tell everybody I can about this, and they've done very, very well for themselves. And I love that the fact that just by word of mouth and utilizing something that's already within you, that healing potential that you were already given, that you can help somebody that you've never met and you'll never meet. And that, I think, is the real power behind these products. I think they're amazing, amazing, amazing. And I love how, a bunch of doctors like yourselves are just standing behind these because they know that these products help, and they know for the better of their patients, above all else, do no harm. So this is definitely what you're going to add to your regimen.
Okay. Thank you so much, Pilar. I really appreciate your being here. And just the last question to Dr. Deb Mormon. We had another question for you, but I just want to know, what is it that you love about having ASEA and Renew 28 in your practice?
Wow. It's changed the way I do my practice, because before using just herbs, I get some really good results, but sometimes I would not. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with chronic reverse polarity, but I would get a lot of people that would determine that their electromagnetic field, energy field is totally off. And I would have to go find all these different supplements to try to correct that. And I kind of discovered this with my friend that I told you about that had her serious issue. As I was driving down there, I realized I had nothing to fix that. And that was the first occasion I had to actually do a muscle test and see if the ASEA would correct her polarity. And ASEA always corrects that polarity. And when polarity is off for people, what I have found is nothing works. You can throw all kinds of herbs and supplements at them and nothing works. It's like the cells are not absorbing the nutrition. So we always have to fix that. And the beauty of ASEA is now it fixes it on everybody. There might have been only a couple of occasions where I've had to add something else with it, maybe to support their adrenals, etc. And I always tell people that I love ASEA. I think it's a miracle in a bottle, but I also want them to be cognizant of the fact that they do need nutrition. They need to supplement those 90 or 91 nutrients every day. So it's really added to what I do. It's getting people well faster. People are loving the product. The hardest part, as we all know, is getting them to understand that, just like Maureen said, that it may take 90 days for this to kick in, whereas the Renew is an instant fix for some people. So that's why we kind of start with that sometimes. But I'm finding that this is just making everything that I've ever done so much easier, and all that nutrition more available to the body.
Thank you so much, Deb. Awesome, awesome explanation. And I like the explanation also that, you know, all this great nutrition that you're prescribing to your patients and we're having our patients take, that's sort of the raw materials, but redox signalers are the labor. So we can put in all the greatest antioxidants, nutritional supplements we want. We can do all the greatest foods, but sometimes people, like my wife, just never got better until we added the labor in the form of redox signaling molecules, and that was the answer. So thanks so much, Deborah. Really appreciate it. It's important to know that these doctors just donated their time. Thank you so much. We can't thank you enough. It was an honor to be here. We hope that everyone watching this will understand that we're really serious. This is important. This is going to change the world. It works every time. It never hurts anyone ever. And we have all implemented it into our practices. I personally did it in a New York hospital for 5 years with never a side effect and just rockin' results that just went right through a hospital. It was amazing. So thank you all for being here. My wife, I'm sure, has something really great to say. Thank you so much, Terry, for hosting this. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Well, first we'd like to thank all the healthcare professionals for being on this webinar, taking your valuable time. We know how busy you all are, and sharing your knowledge of these redox signaling molecules. We do need to make a disclaimer that ASEA doesn't claim to cure, treat, mitigate, diagnose, prevent anything. What it does do is it allows your body to do what it was designed to do and heal itself. Please get back to the special person that invited you to this webinar. And if you need more information about the products, ask them. If you'd like more information about the opportunity, ask them. About the company, ask them. We have it for you. And we wish you all good health. We can't wait to hear your stories after you start utilizing these amazing products. Thanks again, docs. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day, and see you later. Bye-bye.